Mohammad Asif has performed very well. Sami is still in the line. And again, a difficult job for selection committee and for the team management. But is there any way that leaving those players out of the team, yet keeping them alive and fit and willing and ready to play in the test match whenever needed?
I think the most important thing to remember is that you need a battery of fast bowlers. You just don't need one or two. You actually need maybe 8 fast bowlers in the wings, because the situation is simple. We play so much cricket that people are going to break down. It doesn't matter how fit they are. You know, Shoaib Akhtar has been carrying a foot injury right the way through this series, and really, he desperately wanted to play, so we played him. But I think we're going to have to look at that. So having Sami, Umar Gul, Shahid Nazir, Mohammad Asif, Abdul Razak, having that battery of fast bowlers allows us to rest people. And if people are slightly off form, which Mohammad Sami is, and he was unlucky. I mean, you know, how hard is it? He's been playing on 2 of the flattest pitches in the world. He gets left out on a pitch that goes all over the place. So he might well have taken 5 or 6 wickets, you don't know. And that's the tough part. So we have to, I think all the bowlers, all the people have to remember that they've got to keep themselves fit, because people are going to break down. Over a period of 14, 15 test matches, we're going to use all 8 bowlers at some stage.
Do you think, Bob, it's going to help Pakistan cricket, or like playing Shoaib against the medical advice, or with carrying with injury?
Well, no, in the end it's up to the individual. I mean, you know, he earns a match fee. He's essentially contracted. He's a professional cricketer. If he feels he can play, and someone like Shoaib has always been an asset to the side if he wants to play, and he wants to be there, which is what he does now. But also we have to be careful that if he is carrying an injury, and we've monitored it very carefully, I have to tell you, and you know, the advice was, but he wanted to do well against India. As it turned out, other people did. And that's the nature of the game. But we monitor these injuries very carefully. We've got a very good support staff.
But in case if his injury gets worse than it, you won't be able to utilize the service in the ODIs.
But that's why we're monitoring the injury, you see. So the situation is that if he's not there for the ODIs, we played India, and it was 6 matches without Shoaib. And we won 4-2. We went to the West Indies without Shoaib. We won 3-0. And so I think there is a rotation policy about to start within the Pakistan camp. And we'll have to do this carefully, because it's not something you just say to a senior player, you're not playing now because we're resting you, unless everyone agrees that. So we'll sit down and we'll talk to all of us.
I think the credit goes to you, Bob, because having designed such a policy that even the team is able to win without Inzamam ul Haq, without Shoaib Akhtar, as you mentioned. What would you advise to Inzamam ul Haq to keep himself fit, to keep himself in the run, or to help Pakistan winning till 2007? Should he be selective in his series to come? Or?
Well, I see today he said that he'd like to be selective. And I think it's important that all the players, if they have a niggle or an injury, weigh up whether they should be playing or not playing. Now, in his own case, it's very difficult because he's captain, he's an inspirational leader. People look up to him and people expect him to play all the time. But, you know, time waits for no man, and he's 35 years old, so, yeah. But in the end, it'll be up to Inzamam ul Haq whether he plays or not. So, but we have a very, as I said before, we've got a very good medical staff, and we are monitoring these injuries all the time, and we're looking after them. In Inzi's case, it's, you know, he bats in a slouched position, and that's what's causing the back problem. So if he's going to get 100 after 100 after 100, he's going to get a little back niggle, and that's the main problem. So we want him to score 100 after 100, so we have to manage the injury. And Inzi knows his own body, and but the important thing is that we have people like Faisal Iqbal, and Mohammad Yusuf, and Yunus Khan, and Imran Farhat, and Salman Butt, and Shoaib Malik in the wings, and of course Shahid Afridi, and I don't want to leave anyone out, I'm sorry. But the point is we've got these other people, and they have to contribute too. It's not, you know, cricket is a one-on-one gladiatorial sport, bowler versus batsman, but it's actually a team game where you need everyone in the side, and that's the most important thing. And if And that's what we're trying to inculcate into this team.
You mentioned that Inzi has become inspirational leader. He's also become a spiritual leader of the team as well.
Yes.
Leading prayers. It's good
Yes.
to unite them in one land.
Look, I mean, the Islamic society is very different to the Western society. If you read Steve Orr's new autobiography, and he talks about how at the end of every game they used to drink for maybe 6 or 7 hours and get absolutely paralytic. And they would sing the Southern Cross song, and they'd sing other songs in the dressing room, and they'd bond through team spirit like that. Now, in this society, and this is where the religious aspect is so good, the team meet 5 times a day. They pray 5 times a day, and then after the prayers, one or maybe 2 of the sessions, Inzamam will start a cricket discussion, and another day we'll invite someone else to start a discussion on life. And this is a wonderful way of bonding the team without the use of alcohol, without the use of dinners and other things. So I think it's unique to cricket anywhere in the world, and Pakistan are using it. And I think the results show for themselves.
And Bob, you have changed the characteristic of like Shahid Afridi and Shoaib Akhtar. I remember once you were here in the interview and you were discussing that Shoaib Akhtar should make himself fully fit. He's changed himself. He's become a team man. Like Afridi has become, he's changed his way of playing. I mean, he can stay on the wicket.
Well, this comes about through discussion of cricket. This comes about what the team needs, what Pakistan cricket needs, and this comes about from within the soul. And Shahid Afridi realises that he likes playing Test cricket. He scores quickly, and the public of Pakistan, as you can hear when you come to the ground, if he's not coming to the wicket, they moan, and every time a wicket falls, they shout Afridi, Afridi, to try and get him up the order. And Shoaib, these people have it in their hearts to do well for themselves and for each other and for Pakistan. And that's really where we are at the moment. We're trying to get better. We're not satisfied. We're not satisfied with our catching or with our fielding. We're not even satisfied with what we're doing yet. But we're doing okay. But we're still trying to get better. And that's really the team spirit. And that's where we're trying to go.
Bob, this series between Pakistan and India, I term it as an Ashes series as well, because you are from England, you're coaching Pakistani team. Greg Chappell is from Australia, he's coaching the Australian team. So simultaneously it has become Pakistan-India clash versus Australia-England Ashes series.
Well, yes, I mean, in a way, but I don't see myself as part of the team in terms of playing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm sure Greg is the same. The point is we try to create the environment for the team to perform as relaxed as possible and to do their best. So it's not a fight between us. But I understand what you're saying. And funny enough, I played in the England side that won the Ashes in 1977. And funny enough, Greg Chappell was the captain of the opposition at the time.
Now, it's quite interesting. I just wanted to draw your attention to a statement made, allegedly made by Greg Chappell regarding Shoaib Akhtar's bowling action. I don't know if in fact he has given that a statement or not. And PCB has also reacted to it. How do you see it?
Well, first of all, if he did mention that Shoaib's action was different, it is different, right? Whether he's throwing or not, whether he's intimated that he's throwing, is for discussion, up for discussion. The worst thing is, I think, I don't particularly want to be talking about an Indian player to the media during a test match. So I think that was, if it did happen, then that was a slip. And I'm sure Greg didn't mean it in any way derogatorily to Shoaib Akhtar. But what you read in the newspaper, you have to act on. So all the PCB have done, have asked Ranjan Magadullah, the match referee, to have a look at the situation and to see it. We haven't asked for anything to happen. We just feel that it's that it shouldn't be out in the press. If there's any speculation, it should remain in-house. There are the right channels to go through.
Now, coming to the one-day series against India, Pakistan is having that edge of winning the series in Karachi Test by the second highest ever margin against India, and it is the Pakistan heaviest victory against any team in the world. What do you think this edge will Can Pakistan benefit from that edge in the one-day series?
Let me first say that red ball cricket and white ball cricket are poles apart. Every game in one-day cricket starts 50-50. There are various conditions. There might be the toss, there might be the weather, there might be the pitch, all things that can change the nature of the game. But every game should start 50-50. The side batting first and second should have equal opportunities to win the game through batting, and the bowlers should have some encouragement, although I doubt it. So I don't see the momentum. What it has done, it's lifted our spirits, it's lifted our confidence levels. But we have to be humble because it's a different game. And India have just beaten Sri Lanka for six matches to 1. So it's, you know, and we can't be complacent, and we won't be complacent. At the same time, we need to start building for the World Cup, which is in March, April, May next year. And we have to make sure that we use these. I think we have 6 one-day series leading up to the World Cup, and that we try and find the right. I think Inzamam summed it up. We want a 360-degree view of what we can and can't do in one-day situations. So we've got Umar Gul, we've got a couple of exciting new cricketers in there, and hopefully we'll be able to give them the opportunity to show what they're worth and to see how we can use them in the bigger scheme of things when the World Cup comes up.
So Bob, coming to the last question, what has been your difficult time with Pakistan team, and what are the which has been your most memorable or pleasing moments with Pakistan team?
I think I can answer the pleasing moment quickly, and that's I think the Bangalore Test match. That was a fantastic performance by the team. There have been a lot of good performances since then and before that in Mohali and so on. The low lights, I think, was in Australia for the Test matches there, but we learnt a lot. So I think in any situation, in adversity you learn more than you do when you win, although you should be working hard when you're winning to see how you can do better. But in adversity you learn truths, home truths come, and you have to deal with those. And I think the Australian tour was a turning point in how we were going to run the team. And Inzamam and I looked at that whole situation and said, right, it's got to change, and we made a positive move forward.
Bob, I appreciate your time and your coming to the show, and I wish you all the best for your futures, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
It was a great honor for us to have you on the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
व्यूवर्स, आपने पाकिस्तान क्रिकेट टीम के कोच बॉब वुल्मर की गुफ्तगू सुनी, और ज़ाहिर है कि पाकिस्तान को तकरीबन 20 साल के बाद बॉब वुल्मर की टीम ने फतह से हमकिनार किया। पाकिस्तान के लिए भी एजाज़ है, और इसके लिए बॉब वुल्मर मुबारकबाद के मुस्तहिक़ हैं। सरदार खान को इजाज़त दीजिएगा। अल्लाह हाफ़िज़।